What's up, guys? What is snorting meth like? Why do I know this? Well, my name is Eric. I'm a recovering addict when it comes to alcohol and cocaine. And I do these videos not to at all glorify drugs by any means. I am currently sober from alcohol and cocaine. Those were my drugs of choice. And I've been a little over 2.5 years sober. And when it comes down to sharing these experiences, it's for anybody out there struggling. Because a lot of times when we hear other people share, it hits home and we go, shit, we have a problem. And that's what this is also designed to do. So what is snorting meth like? Hit that like and subscribe button. My channel is all about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, sobriety, having a little bit of fun, and most of all, just giving you a lot of shares and experiences, making sure that you can fight through this shit, because it does get real. Meth was never a drug of choice of mine. It was never something that I wanted to do, and meth can be taken a lot of different ways. I mean, people will put meth in, they'll put it in their coffee. You can even get it legally prescribed for ADHD. But meth as a drug itself, to me, was one of the scariest drugs. To me also one of the drugs that I never really wanted to do because I knew how it was made. I didn't want anything that was necessarily made out of a bathtub. I didn't want something that was that chemically produced. And even though cocaine, which was my drug of choice, is with chemicals, it has a manufacturing process. In my head, it wasn't quite like meth was. And so when it came to snorting meth, I never ever did it on purpose. It was always laid out to me as though it was cocaine. And anybody watching this, if you're an addict, you know what it's like, dude. You're not just doing one drug. You're drinking. You're doing everything. I mean, the most combination that I ever would do in the night would usually be alcohol, cocaine, and like Viagra or Cialis. I mean, I would always combination different drugs, and it was also based even around my sex addiction that I would struggle with. And when it came to meth, whenever somebody would lay it out in a line, meth is a very clear kind of material, substance that's crystallized that when you're fucked up, you don't realize and you're not paying attention necessarily what the lines are. And the worst part about being an addict is we trust other addicts. We trust our friends, our other junkie friends, whoever. And when somebody says, hey, it's a line of coke, here, dude, I laid you out a rail, dude, do this line. All right, I'm in. And you don't really look at it. All you do is you see this whitish line, your vision's already blurred, you're already screwed up, and you're snorting it. And when you snort meth, that's where you instantly know that you're not doing coke, because it's like you just snorted up a bunch of glass shards. Coke, when it goes up your nose, it's a very smooth feeling. It was one of those that was like a warm, comforting blanket. It was like I could feel it in my nose and it made it tingle, and it was just like, oh my God, I did coke. Meth, it was like, oh my God, what did I just put up my nose? Because it felt like glass shards literally went up here. My eyes started watering. I snorted meth 3 different times, and each occasion is like burned into my brain because I'll never forget, because as soon as I could feel it burning going up is when my anger and my temper even took over, because it wasn't something I wanted to do. I was that addict that these were my drugs of choice, don't screw with them. You feel it burn up your nose, it goes down. The drip definitely doesn't taste the same. You could taste like the aftertaste of the chemicals in your mouth, and it's just a horrible, nasty ass taste. Your eyes would start burning for a while. You couldn't really breathe out of this nose. It would be a burning sensation up into your sinuses, down into your throat, and your gums. Like my gums, whenever I did coke, would have like a tingling feeling to them. When I did meth, it was very clenched. I was very, very tight. There was like no relaxation there at all. I know that people said, oh, you've done meth wrong and stuff. Well, that's fine. I really didn't want to do meth. So snorting it clenched and tightened up my whole body, and it went straight into my head, essentially, where I wasn't enjoying any kind of high. It was more of a, what the fuck did you just do? And why did you just do this drug? And then I would look around and be like, okay, what the fuck? Because this wasn't what I had planned to do now tonight. One of the flip sides too is being ADHD, stimulants affect you differently. So doing meth affected me differently than what cocaine did. Cocaine gave me a different buzz that was very warm to me, kind of high, giggly high. Meth to me gave me a very almost anger directed focus high. I could do cleaning, like I could function on both very easily, but I'd become hyper focused even in my thoughts of going, dude, the party lost all the fun. I don't really feel like drinking. I don't feel like doing anything, and I want to get the fuck out of here. And I would end up going home. I mean, you can tell definitely if you're ADHD if you can do meth and sleep on it. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that can do meth and sleep. You'll hear these different stories of, oh man, yeah, I was doing a bunch of meth and I was up for 48 hours, 72 hours. I would sleep every single night. Even when I was doing cocaine, I always slept. Even if it was only for like 4 or 5 hours, I would always sleep because I was a very functioning addict when it came to that. The one thing that meth did do is after snorting it, even the next day, the breathing out of my nose was painful versus with coke, it was like you had a cold. Your sinuses and everything are really blocked up. With meth, it was a pain. It was an aching feeling here. I didn't really want to do any drugs that next day because it literally hurt that bad. And I never did enough where I would switch my nostrils like I did with coke. Coke, I would go from one nostril. Once that one's kind of blowing out, I'm in the other one. And then I'm trying to clear out this nostril. With meth, I mean, it was a one-time deal, but you instantly knew when you did it, that versus coke. It was just a very different high. It was a very angry high. It was a very tense high. And it was a high that I did not enjoy because my attention focused in very, very tightly. And it usually flipped to anger. And my communication became very good because I became so angry and communicated my anger so much of why did you just feed me meth over coke? So there's definitely a difference in the two highs. And again, it comes down to when you are an addict, you do find these drugs of choice because it fills some kind of gap in you. And even when it came to me with cocaine filled a gap for me. And it was a dangerous gap that it filled. It gave me a feeling that I couldn't stop. I just wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted more, and I wanted more. And that's how dangerous it became to me, that I would have to use it to function throughout the day. With meth, there was no kind of functioning. There was no anything. The party was done, and I ended up leaving. I never, ever enjoyed the meth high. Never, ever smoked meth. Never put meth into coffee because there are different ways that you can take drugs. And that's the thing about them is when you find that drug of choice, it owns you. I mean, it owns you and makes you its bitch. And that's why, the best thing I could ever have done is get sober. It's not necessarily that it made life any easier. And do I miss partying some? Yeah, I do. I miss partying some. But I also know the flip side of the partying. I know the damage and the aftermath and how obsessed with it I become that I don't miss that part of it. I like waking up and being like, dude, guess what? I'm a functioning human being. I'm an adult. Guess what? I can fuck an adult today. Instead of waking up going, I need to get fucked up because I got to get this headache, this head cold, all this bullshit cleared up to just go back at it. That's reality of addiction. That's the struggle of addiction. For anybody out there that is struggling with addiction, man, reach out for help. If you're at that point of your lowest where you don't want to be there anymore, best suggestion I have is start telling everybody you're an addict, what you're addicted to, and asking for help. And there are people out there that will help you. I mean, I even work with a mental health dual diagnosis rehab. They also do normal drug rehab. I have the link down below in the comment section pinned. Their renewal recovery, I work with them directly. And rehab will help you get sober. NA will help you get sober. I have links to NA and even AA in the description box. Find the right help, but let everybody know what you're struggling with. And again, there's so many horror stories out there with meth. I know that there's a lot of people out there right now still struggling with it. My heart goes out to you because I know that feeling. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like and subscribe button. Comment down below because that's what it's about. It's about fighting through every single day, finding that one day that you hit the rock bottom. You go, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to actually exist. So hit that like and subscribe button. Comment. If you're looking for help, hit me up. In the description box, I have links to all my different social medias. I have links to the mental health Discord communities for peer-to-peer support. I even have links to things on Amazon for fidget cubes, fidget spinners, things that I use when it comes to my anxiety, my depression, just to help ground me. Even have a link down below to BetterHelp. It's online therapy. It's trial and error to find out what works for you. And when you find what works for you, life becomes amazing again. And you know what? We can function again. And that's a beautiful thing about it. And it's different for us all. But don't give up. Don't give up is the whole key. You're a BAMF. You're a badass motherfucker. You made it through 100% of your worst days to make it through to today. And you got this.